Bacha Party. I welcome you all to day 58 of scoring 99% in 99 days. Our chapters are finally over and it's time for rigorous question practice, my dear little champions. So here we are with 30 MCQs in one shot, and it will include questions from all the chapters of biology, that is life processes, how do organisms reproduce, control and coordination, heredity, as well as our environment. So I hope you're ready. So the thing that you have to do is, before I tell you the answer, you have to try to find the answer by yourself. So whenever you see a question, pause it, try to do by yourself. It will be really good practice for you all, my dear children. And also one more very important thing before I start off, if you think you need more videos like this, you have to comment down saying on the basis of your comments, we would be preparing more videos like this. There are no comments related to this, we might not be able to come to a conclusion that you need it or not. So definitely put down the comments if you need so. So let's get started with question number 1 from life processes. If salivary amylase is lacking in the saliva, that means in the saliva there is no salivary amylase. Which of the following events in the mouth cavity will be affected? Which of the events in the buccal cavity it will be affected when salivary amylase is not there, my dear children? What is the function of salivary amylase? It is the one that is responsible for the first breakdown of what? Starch into what, children? Maltose. So we say digestion, it starts from the mouth. Why? Because in the mouth we have saliva, and saliva has salivary amylase, which acts on the starch to break it down into what? Maltose. So what would not happen if this guy is not there? Starch breaking down into sugar. So starch is a complex sugar, maltose is a simple sugar. So basically this becomes your answer. What about proteins? No, proteins are not broken down here, fats are not broken down here, absorption of vitamins also does not happen over here because of salivary amylase. The thing the salivary amylase do is this, so this becomes your answer. Okay, so with this you got to know one more very important thing, that is, whenever the question comes, where does the digestion start, you should be able to know it's in the mouth that the digestion starts off. Okay, now the next question. In a neuron, conversion of electrical signal to chemical signal occurs at in. So I have included question from different chapters and I have mixed it up, because in exam also you get it in a mixed manner. If I go with the flow, it will be just kind of a, what's say, a lenient revision and you might forget things. That's why I mixed it up. I hope it's fine for you as well. So the question says, in a neuron, the conversion of electrical signal to chemical signal. We have to convert electrical into chemical signal. So I hope that in a neuron this happens. But where does this conversion exactly happen? So basically, there is chemical messengers which you call as neurotransmitters. It comes and binds on the dendrites of the neuron. Fine, these chemical messengers comes and binds on the dendrites of the neuron, and now what happens? Here the ions and everything gets inside. So now we say that there is an electrical signal that flows. There is an electrical signal, or basically an electrical impulse that flows. From the dendrites, this electrical impulse will be moving to the cyton, or the cell, soma, cell body, and then it moves to the axon, and then it moves to the axon terminals. In the axon terminals, there are certain structures like this, knob shaped structures like this, which has stored chemicals, my dear children. So now at this axon terminals, when the electrical signal is coming, it will say that, hey, chemicals, you have to move out. Now we say that the electrical signal has finally converted to what, children? Chemical signal. So where is it happening? It is happening in the axon terminals. Now again the chemicals are released, it will move to the next dendrite. So we started off at the dendrite over here with the help of chemicals. So that means here also there was a neuron which released chemicals, and that's how it is happening. So conversion of electrical signal to chemical signal. Electrical signal to chemical signal is happening at the axon terminals or the axonal end. So this becomes your answer. Good? B is correct. Chalo, next. And do tell me who all got at least 20 questions correct. Definitely let me know, and if you have got 30 questions correct, that also is a very great thing you have to tell me. So, 2 pink colored flowers on crossing resulted in 1 red, 2 pink and 1 white flower progeny. The nature of the cross will be. So this is a tricky question. Okay, so they have mentioned 2 pink flowers. 2 pink flowers, when they are fused, they are going to give you what? 1 red, 2 pink and one white. So this experiment was done by Mendel, and this is known as incomplete dominance experiment, okay, where he observed that the plants which were like this, which had capital R and small r, were pink in color. Now when he took two of them and when he fused them, the gametes that are formed will be capital R, small r, capital R, small r. Now suppose this gamete fused with this, it will be capital R, capital R. If this gamete fused with this, it will be capital R, small r. This with this, capital R, small r. And this with this, small r, my dear children. So over here you see, this is the one that they spoke about, that is one red. These are the ones that is two pink, and this is the one that is one white. Now the question is, what are you doing over here? Is it self-pollination? Is it cross-fertilization? What is it exactly? What is it exactly? So, since you might see two pink flowers, now two pink flowers can be on the same plant as well. If it is on the same plant, then also it will be giving me this thing. It can be on the different plants as well. It can be on different plants as well. But when Mendel was doing, if it is on the same plant, I'll say self-pollination is happening over here. If it is in different plants, I'll say cross-pollination is happening over here. So how can I come to a conclusion about this? Basically, if you're talking about this scenario, this is how Mendel did his experiment. And according to Mendel, he actually took two different plants and then he crossed it. Okay, he crossed between the progenies. He crossed between the two different progenies. So it has to be two different plants. Okay, so since that is not mentioned up over here, this is a kind of confusing, question. But since if you're going through Mendel's act, because Mendel did the whole experiment, I'll say it is cross-fertilization because he took two different plants. Okay, so that is a tricky one, but you should be understanding that. So in the answer, if you are given a choice, you can go for cross-fertilization and say that this is according to Mendel's experiment. Since it is not mentioned, if it is on different plants or on the same plant. If it is on the same, the flowers are on the same plant, then it will be self-pollination. Cool? But yes, you can, for the time being, you can go with this. Cool? And if you're not understanding why I said cross-pollination, I'll tell you. So Mendel's experiment, it followed like this. He took pure red plant, he took pure white plant, and then he crossed it. When he crossed, the gametes here will be capital R, small r. When you cross this with this, it is capital R, small r. Sorry, there is no round mark over here. Okay. When he crossed this with this, he got capital R, small r, again capital R, small r, again capital R, small r. All of them, my dear children, were pink. Now, it is something new. Usually it has to be red because this should be completely dominant over the small r. But somehow it was not. It was showing incomplete dominance. Now what he did? He wanted to do more experiment on it. So he crossed between the progenies. He crossed between this plant and this plant, which is why I say it's cross-pollination. This is what you see over here. Get it? So that is the answer for this question. This is a heredity based question. So now we have the fourth question from life process again. Which of the following statements is or are true about respiration? Okay, during inhalation, ribs move inward and diaphragm is raised. During inhalation, when you breathe in, do you think the ribs are moving inwards? No. When you breathe in, you need a lot of space for the air to come in. So basically, the ribs are going to move outwards. They are going to expand. And what about the diaphragm? Diaphragm is also not raised. It moves down. It relaxes. It moves down, my dear children. Okay. So during inhalation, ribs move outward and diaphragm is basically going down. So this is wrong. You have to find what is true, right? In the alveoli, exchange of gases takes place, that is oxygen from the alveolar air diffuses into the blood and carbon dioxide from the blood into the alveolar air. Do you think it's happening? Yes. So alveoli is a place where maximum exchange of gases is happening in the lungs, right? And there, the oxygen which is there in the alveoli, what we breathe in, will be moving to the blood, and from the blood it will be passed down to all our different body parts. Now the carbon dioxide which is taken from different body parts comes to the lungs and is now it has to what? Move out. So basically the carbon dioxide from the blood, it will move into the alveolar air, and from there it will be moving out of our body. So this is also true. This is also true. So only one statement is wrong as of now. Now hemoglobin has greater affinity. The spelling of hemoglobin is wrong. Okay, anyways, has greater affinity for carbon dioxide and oxygen. Do you think so? No. Hemoglobin has greater affinity for oxygen, my dear children. It does not have much affinity for carbon dioxide than oxygen. Please remember that. Okay. But there is one thing, important thing, carbon dioxide can be dissolved. In the dissolved state, it can move around the body, but oxygen does not move like that. Now, oxygen always needs hemoglobin. Now, alveoli increases surface area for exchange of gases. Okay, one thing, it's wrong statement, right? It has greater affinity for oxygen than carbon dioxide, but this is written wrong. Alveoli increases surface area for exchange of gases. I told you, yes, it does. Okay, it does increase surface area. So, I will say this and this statement is false. The 1 and 3 is false. So, C becomes the correct option. Wait. Oh, we had to find what is true. Sorry. I was finding what is false. That's how you lose marks. So, true you have to underline and you have to look for the true statements. It's my fault. So, it will second and fourth, which is correct. So, it becomes D. Okay. Even teachers are doing mistakes like this. So, you can expect what type of mistakes you can do under a pressure zone of exam. So, definitely, as I said, go through it without panic. You would be able to understand it. Okay. So, underline true and then you start off the answer. I kind of messed it up there. Even though I underlined, I didn't pay attention to it. Okay. So, yes, my fault. Chalo, next thing. The correct sequence of reproductive stages seen in flowering plants is. What is the sequence? Okay, in flowering plants, when you are talking about flowering plants, means they are undergoing sexual reproduction, which is how you get flowers and things like that, right? Now, in them, you have the gametes. In them, you have the gametes, the male gamete and the female gamete. They fuse to form what? Zygote. This zygote is single-celled. It will divide and form what? Embryo. From this embryo, I will get a new seedling that will grow into a whole plant. So, this is the scenario. So, gametes, zygote, embryo and seedling. A is the correct answer. You didn't have to go read the other options as well. Okay. So, correct option is A. Done. Enjoying, my dear children. Now, control and coordination, the sixth question. Which of the following statements are true? Are true. This time we have to be careful. Are true. Sudden action in response to something in the environment is called reflex action. Yes. It is always involuntary. It is always sudden. Okay. For example, hot pan, I touch it, I move my hand. It is a sudden reaction. This is known as reflex action. This is true. Okay. Now, sensory neurons carry signals from the spinal cord to the muscles. From the spinal cord to the muscles, it's not sensory neuron, it is motor neuron. Motor neuron is one that is associated with movement, right? So, motor neuron goes and tells the muscles to basically move. Sensory neuron is responsible for sensing and sending the information to the spinal cord. Okay. So, sensory neuron carries signals to the spinal cord, not from the spinal cord. It is motor neuron that carries signals from the spinal. So, this is wrong. Motor neurons carry signals from the receptor to the spinal cord. Again, this is also wrong. It is sensory neuron that carries signals from the receptors to the spinal cord, saying that, hey, something has happened, you have to do something. So, this is again wrong. Now, the path through which signals are transmitted from the receptor to the muscle or a gland, for example, I touch it, this is a receptor, from here, my movement to spinal cord and back to the muscles, whole thing is known as a reflex arc. This is correct. And I had to find the true statements, I will say 1 and 4 is correct. So, C is correct. So, yes, oh my god. So, B should have been here and C should have been, anyway, this is correct. So, option number C is correct, that is 1 and 4. Okay, please interchange. Works. Chalo. Next, which of the following statement is or are true about heart? About heart. Now, listen, about heart, before starting off, always remember you have lungs. I hope everyone has a lungs. Yes, and then you have certain chambers like this, and this is our body parts. This is left atrium, this is left ventricle, this is right atrium, this is right ventricle. From the lungs, oxygenated blood goes to the left atrium. This is oxygenated. Okay, bring in oxygen. Okay, from the left atrium it goes to the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, oxygenated blood goes to the body parts. Now, the body parts are kind of really happy because they got the oxygen. In return gift, they give carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide or the carbon dioxide rich blood or the deoxygenated blood, okay, it has more amount of carbon dioxide. So, we say it is deoxygenated. So, it goes to the right atrium this time. Okay, it does not go to the left atrium, it goes to the right atrium. And always remember, A comes before V, so it has to go to the atrium, not the ventricle first. From the this is deoxygenated, okay? Okay, from right atrium it goes to the right ventricle. Now where is that place where exchange of gases takes place, my dear children? It will be in the lungs. So this deoxygenated blood has to go to the lungs. So this is the flow of the heart. Now let's solve this question. What is true? Again, you have to find a true statement. Left atrium receives oxygenated blood from different parts of the body. It is getting oxygenated blood from the lungs. So this is wrong. I didn't have to read it completely. Left ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to different body parts, while right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Correct? Correct. So this is true. Next, left atrium transfers oxygenated blood to the right ventricle. Ayyo, it's wrong. It cannot go. They are dushmans. Okay, there is a barrier over here. They cannot go. They are dushmans. They don't like each other. Okay. So right atrium, again, right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body. Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body. Okay. While left ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to different parts of the body. This is again correct, and we had to find the true statement. So I'll say second and fourth is true. Second and fourth is true. That means C is true. Easy. Are you enjoying studying? I hope you are doing so. That is why I am super excited. I am super energetic. Okay, chalo. Which of the following statement is incorrect? For every hormone, there is a gene. For every protein, there is a gene. For production of every enzyme, there is a gene. For every molecule of fat, there is a gene. So basically, where is gene, my dear children? This DNA that we have, they have separate areas. You call them as a gene. And genes, basically, they code for proteins. They code for proteins. Now, proteins can be in the form of enzymes. It can be in the form of hormones, or just some random proteins itself. Okay, these all things are made up of proteins also. Hormones are something that can be made up of steroidal things as well, but there are proteinaceous hormones as well. Okay, so gene directly codes for protein, and it can be in either of the forms. So for every hormone there is a gene, it will be correct. For every protein there is a gene, it will be correct. For every enzyme that you see, there will be a gene, it will also be correct, because enzymes are what? Proteins only. But for fat is not coded by a gene. Fat is made in our body, it can be broken down, it can be taken through food, but it is not something that is coded by a gene, my dear children. Okay, the proteins or the enzymes that are there, it can be used up for breaking down fats and stuff like that, but no direct production of fat is done by a gene. Gene always codes for a protein, and enzymes, hormones and other proteins are coming under this category. So this is a wrong statement. You have to find the incorrect one, and this is the incorrect one. Always when incorrect, correct, true, false, underline that. It will be more easy for you to understand. And for the children who think that they are answering it wrong, you are not able to find the answers, please don't worry, it happens. Okay, you have time to study as of now. Utilize it, study properly. Chalo. Now, so this is the correct answer. Now, single circulation, that is blood flows through the heart only once during one cycle of passage through the body, is exhibited by. So single circulation, as in the blood, as it said, is passing only once through the heart. So in our case, when you were seeing over here, blood was moving twice. Once it came, and then again it is coming. It is double circulation, my dear children. But single circulation is exhibited by fishes. You also call them Pisces, where they just have one atrium, one ventricle. One atrium, one ventricle, and only once it passes through, blood passes through, and this blood that is passing through is deoxygenated blood. Fishes, they have only two chambers of heart, and one more important thing, they have only deoxygenated blood going through their heart. That is kind of really sad. We all have oxygenated and deoxygenated blood coming night, but they do not have that. Always remember. So we have to spot the fishes over here. Okay, if in the option there are fishes, that means it is correct. So labio, chameleon and salamander. Chameleon and salamander. I forgot to pronounce it. Oh my god. Okay. Labio, chameleon and salamander. Basically, salamander is what? Tell me. Salamander is what? Amphibian. So again, you have to move it out. Okay. Chameleon is also reptile, so you have to move it out. Hippocampus, exocetus, anubis. You might have not heard about them. Okay. Hippocampus is basically the seahorse. Okay. Anyways. No. Sorry. Hippocampus, exocetus and anubis, basically they come under Pisces only. Okay, Hyla, Rana, Draco. Hyla and Rana, they are frogs, my dear children. This is tree frog and this is some other frog. Draco is a reptile. Okay, it is a flying lizard. Okay, now that also is out. Whale, dolphin and turtle, please understand the fact that basically dolphin that you see over here is a mammal. Okay, is a mammal. What about whale? You tell me in the comment section. What about whale? You tell me in the comment section. Turtle again is a reptile. Okay, so you should be knowing about that. Whale is also a mammal. Okay, so again it's not something that comes under this category. For Pisces you just have them. So B is correct. Okay, next, which of the following statements are true about the brain? About the brain. The main thinking part of the brain is a forebrain. Is it true? Yes, because forebrain has the largest part, which is known as cerebrum, and cerebrum is known as the main thinking part. Our brain has three different parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Forebrain is considered to be the major thinking part because it has cerebrum in it. Okay. Now, centers for hearing, smell, memory, sight, etc. located in the forebrain. Yes, we have olfactory lobe, we have this lobe, that lobe, auditory lobe, everything in there in our forebrain itself. So this is also correct. Olfactory for smelling and things like that. Okay. Now, involuntary actions like salivation, vomiting, blood pressure are controlled by medulla in the hindbrain. Yes, you know medulla oblongata, which forms the brain stem over here. Okay, if someone hits the medulla oblongata, you are going to die. So it is responsible for all the involuntary actions like this. Okay, which you cannot control. Apart from that, it is responsible for your heart rate, your breathing rate, everything. Very much important. It is a part of your hindbrain. This is medulla, my dear children. So this is correct. This all things are correct. What do you have to find? You have to find what is true. So I'll say this is correct, this is correct, this is correct. No, cerebellum does not control the posture and balance of the body. This is wrong. Cerebellum, which is there, it controls the balance and posture of the body. It is a cerebellum is a part of your hindbrain, my dear children. So in hindbrain, you have medulla, you have pons, pons, and then you have what? Cerebellum. Okay, these are three parts. Cerebellum is the one that maintains the posture and balance. So people who drink, okay, this alcohol is going to affect their it's going to affect their cerebellum, which is why they are not able to maintain that balance and they move around like this. Okay, so I'll say this and this is correct. 1, 2, 3 and is correct. So again this is wrong. B is correct. Okay, so there is some, I don't know, over here, please make it B. I think it comes in the third way, that's why it is mentioned like this. Okay, sorry from my typist. Yes, now in which of the following vertebrate groups heart does not pump oxygenated blood to different parts of the body? Tell me, in which of the following vertebrate group? Vertebrates as in the one that have vertebral column. You have Pisces, you have or basically in some point of their lifetime. Okay, so you have Pisces, you have amphibians, you have reptiles, you have aves, and you have mammals. Aves as in birds, mammals as in us, Pisces as in fishes. Okay, so you know Pisces always receive deoxygenated blood, so this is always obviously correct. They do not pump oxygenated blood. If their heart is not receiving the oxygenated blood, then how will they give to other organisms? Other organs of their body. So obviously it does not pump oxygenated blood. That is true for Pisces. Amphibians and reptiles, what about them? Do they pump oxygenated blood to different parts of their body? Again, they have mixed blood. They have mixed blood. So I cannot say it is oxygenated or it is deoxygenated. It will be totally incorrect to say that, because in them you have two atrium, left atrium, right atrium, and then you have a ventricle, a common ventricle. So from the lungs, oxygenated blood comes over here and then it goes over here. Okay, so from here it should be going to the body parts. So you might say, ma'am, the heart is pumping oxygenated blood. No. But the problem is that from the body parts, the deoxygenated blood goes to the right atrium and then it comes over here. So there's a mixing of blood, my dear children. There's a mixing of blood over here. So I cannot completely say it is oxygenated blood that goes and comes. Okay, so it is mixed blood that comes. So again, this is also not something that pumps oxygenated blood. So this is also not something that pumps oxygenated blood. Aves and mammals both have 4-chambered heart and they pump oxygenated blood. So this is not going to come in this category. You are asked about who does not pump oxygenated blood. So if you see these options, okay, you can go for it. Pisces and mammals. Mammals is there. Mammals pump oxygenated blood, so this is wrong. Amphibians and aves. Amphibians do not pump, but aves do, so this is again wrong. Aves only? No, aves have 4-chamber heart. Pisces only? Yes, this is correct. Okay, this is correct. So I say option D is correct. Now, our environment. In an ecosystem, the 10% of energy available for transfer from one trophic level to the next trophic level is in the form of heat energy, light energy, chemical energy, mechanical energy. It is in the form of from one trophic level to other, as in for example plants. If plants are eaten by deers, this is trophic level 1, this is trophic level 2. So what is it passing? What type of energy is it passing? It is passing energy in the form of chemical energy, that is ATP, my dear children. Okay, it is not light energy, nothing like that. Okay, it is chemical energy which is being passed through. It will be C option. Cool? Now, next question, my dear children. The substance that triggers the fall of mature leaves and fruits from the plants is substance, as in you're talking about a hormone over here. You have auxin, you have gibberellin, you have abscisic acid and cytokinin. So what is that something that triggers the fall of mature leaves and fruits from the plant? So senescence and everything, mature leaves and plants, basically after they're aging, then they fall down. Who is the one that promotes senescence? Old age, or basically, yeah, old age in the case of plants. Who is that? It is abscisic acid. How do you remember it? Abscisic acid, ABA, ABBA. I always remember a student of mine, Akhil, who made me remember this better with the help of code. That is ABBA, you say ABBA. Anyone when you pray for, okay, even if you pray, okay, there's no religion, I'm just chumma saying, okay. So you have ABA, Abba, you call them when you are in worry or tension. So basically over here also, this particular plant is old, okay, so it has to make its leaf fall down and things like that, so it calls ABA. So ABA comes in rescue. So this is the correct answer. Okay, always remember senescence is caused by ABA, or basically stress. It is also known as stress hormone. In stress also we call God, no? So similarly you can remember like that. Stress hormone at this point of time. For example, the plant does not have water. Okay, it is in drought condition and things like that. At this point of time, the stomata should be closed, otherwise water will go out. So ABA is being released so that the stomata is closed. It's a stress hormone which helps the plant deal with the stress. So ABA is the answer for this. Next. The number of chromosomes in parents and the offsprings of a particular species remains constant due to. So how many chromosomes do we have? Parents, okay, parents, how many chromosomes do they have? 46. Okay, so one parent number 1 has 46, parent number 2 also have 46. Now suppose the cells that they are giving has 46, that is a sperm and egg, has 46, we would be having 92 chromosomes, which is totally wrong. We should be having 46, right? Because normal cells of our body have 46. They started off with this. So what can be done? Basically, whenever the formation of zygotes happen, formation of gametes happen, they undergo a division which is known as meiosis. I was saying meiotic division, but okay, I'll write meiosis. It is going to undergo meiosis or meiosis, okay, either way, it is known as reductional division, which happens in 2 stages. Remember, it happens in 2 stages. Suppose this is a cell, it has 46 number of chromosomes, it will divide. Now it is going to half the number of chromosomes over here, children. It will be 23. Now this will undergo, this is meiosis 1, and there is meiosis 2. You get 2 more cells. You might think it will half again, but no, it is 23. It is going to remain like that. So these things that you see over here, they are the gametes. So the gametes which are there, basically, instead of having 46, they will be having 23 chromosomes comes together to become what? 46, my dear children. It becomes 46, just like how the normal cells were having over there. So why is it happening? The number of chromosomes in the parents and the offsprings in a particular species remains constant due to what? Doubling of chromosomes after zygote formation? No. Halving of chromosomes during gamete formation? Yes. Halving of chromosomes during the gamete formation. Doubling of chromosome after gamete formation, halving of chromosome after gamete formation? No. After gamete formation, why do you need it? Okay. So during the gamete formation, the chromosome should be half. So B is the correct answer. Next, what is the correct direction of flow of electric impulses over here? So I told you, you have to remember dendrites come first, Okay, dendrites come first, then cell body, then axon, terminal, and then another dendrite. But over here, the arrow is towards this side. So this is wrong. This is wrong. The arrow should be towards that side. So again, this if you see, it is again wrong. You see both the dendrites are facing each other. So this is wrong. This is wrong. What about this? Here, the dendrites are there, axon is there. Sorry, cell body is there, axon is there, terminal is there, then again a dendrite is there. This is correct. So they flipped it and showed it, but it is correct because the arrow is correct. Now this you don't need to see, it's wrong. So option number C is correct, my dear children. 16th question. The correct sequence of anaerobic reactions in yeast. Anaerobic acid, basically there is lack of oxygen. Okay, there is lack of oxygen, and anaerobic reaction happening in yeast, what do you call this as? You call this as fermentation. And what happens during anaerobic reaction? In anaerobic reaction, the glucose obviously is broken down to pyruvate for sure, and this happens in the cytoplasm itself. So this is correct. This is same for all, because in anaerobic and aerobic this step is common, that is glucose to pyruvate in the cytoplasm, it is broken down. But what happens after that? Basically during aerobic respiration, if aerobic respiration is happening, everything else would be happening in the mitochondria but not the cytoplasm. So this is wrong and this is going to be wrong because mitochondria is mentioned. This happens only during aerobic respiration. I didn't see the other option, I didn't see this also, but if mitochondria is mentioned, this is wrong. Okay, because anaerobic respiration cannot happen in mitochondria, it happens in cytoplasm itself. So now you are left with this option and this option. Okay, in yeast, the pyruvate which is there, it is not getting broken down to lactic acid. This is wrong. In yeast, the pyruvate which is there undergoes fermentation. Basically, it forms ethanol and carbon dioxide and a little bit of energy. And this happens in the cytoplasm itself. Always remember, anaerobic respiration happens in the cytoplasm. If you're talking about aerobic respiration, it will happen in the what? Mitochondria. Okay, and never it will produce ethanol and carbon dioxide. Also again wrong. Lactic acid also. Okay, now when is lactic acid produced? If the question was anaerobic respiration in human beings, when it happens lactic acid is being produced along with little amount of energy as well. Okay, but it is yeast, so yeast is this. So your D option becomes the correct answer. Okay, next. Label the endocrine glands in the figure. So over here you have A, B, C and D. I'll tell you one thing, always remember D is the easiest one. It's showing in the heart, near the heart region, okay, or basically near the rib cage and all. It is always the thymus. It is always the thymus, my dear children. So D over here is thymus. This is wrong. So D cannot be thyroid gland. So I'm pretty sure of that. I eliminated one option. Now, okay, always remember the one in the neck region would be thyroid. So over here in the neck region you have C, and that is that should be thyroid. So C, let's see where all it is thyroid. So this has thyroid, this has thyroid as C, this has thyroid as C. So I'll say this is also again wrong. Okay, cool. Now pineal gland, and then you have what? Pituitary gland. So pituitary is basically located towards little downwards, whereas pineal is towards upwards. So we say A is pineal, whereas B, when we talk about it, it is pituitary. So A pineal and B pituitary. So this becomes your answer. If you are left with these options, you have to choose this. A. Okay. Chalo. If a round green seeded pea plant, that is, it's round and green like this, is crossed with wrinkled yellow seeded plant, the seeds produced in F1 generation are, listen to me carefully, round, green and wrinkled yellow are crossed. What will be the seed in F1 generation? In F1 generation, always the dominant trait is being expressed. Always the dominant trait is being expressed. So over here you see capital R, that means this is a dominant trait. You're talking about round. So round is a dominant trait. So anyways, in F1 generation, you will be finding round plants. I'm not saying what type of round plants. It can be. We are not bothered about that. This is also round, this is also round. You just have to choose from here. Okay, choose from here. So it has to be round. Again, in this category, this was dominant, so I wrote round. What about the color? This is recessive and this is dominant. So this will be expressed And capital Y stands for what? Yellow. So it will be what? Round and yellow, my dear children. Easy. Okay, so it is just to make you confused, they write like this. Okay, please understand, if you're talking about, if it's mentioned that it's capital, that means it is dominant. You have to show that in F1 generation. They're not asking you about the genotype. Genotype means the equation like this. Okay, they're just talking about the phenotype. How do they look? Round, yellow. Easy. Okay, cool. Chalo. Factors responsible for rapid spread of bread mold on slices of bread are. Okay, bread mold, or you call it as rhizopus, my dear children, and it spreads really rapidly. Okay, how do it spread really rapidly? Because it is propagating through spores. So they have spore formation, my dear children. And also one more thing, the spores, basically they have to come and land on some area which has little amount of humidity, availability of moisture and things like that. Okay, then only it can rapidly spread. So large number of spores, availability of moisture and nutrients in the bread, this is absolutely correct. Okay, presence of tubular branched hyphae, formation of round shaped sporangia, this is secondary things. This is secondary things. What is responsible for the rapid spread? This is responsible, my dear children. So I'll say 1 and 2 is responsible. So C becomes the correct option. C becomes the correct option. Okay. Now, a zygote which has X chromosome. Zygote has X chromosome received from the father. Father has X and Y. So from the father, if the zygote is receiving X chromosome, then this zygote will be developing into what? Girl, boy, what? So basically, if the father is giving X chromosome, mother only has X chromosome. So either she can give this X chromosome or this X chromosome. Either way, it will be XX, and XX stands for what, children? Girl child. It's a female. It's a female, so it will be girl. It will be girl. Okay, XX is for female, XY is for male. Going ahead. A zygote which has X chromosome inherited. Again this question. Okay, I thought. Oh, I already wrote the answer over here. Okay. Length of pollen tube depends on the distance between pollen tube. So, pollen tube is over here. I'll make a diagram. Wait. So, the pollen grain has to land up here. This pollen grain has to form the pollen tube, my dear children. So, length of this pollen tube, basically it will be moving up from here to here, that is the ovule. Because ovule has what? The female gamete, and the pollen grain has what? The male gamete. So, the distance, the length of the pollen tube depends on the distance between what? Distance between the stigma as well as the ovule. Pollen grain and the upper surface of the stigma? No. Pollen grain on the upper surface of the stigma and the ovule? Pollen grain on the upper surface of the stigma and the ovule? Yes, this is correct. But let's see the other options. Pollen grain in the anther and the upper surface of the stigma. Anther, pollen grain has left the anther and come over here. Upper surface of the stigma and lower part of the style. Lower part of the style can be anything. Can be up here also, right? So no, it's the ovule. They have mentioned ovule, so go for that. This becomes the answer. B is correct. Okay. Next, choose the forms in which most plants absorbs nitrogen. So nitrogen, plants cannot okay, why does it need nitrogen? For the formation of chlorophyll pigments and stuff like that. Okay. Now nitrogen cannot be taken in the form of atmospheric nitrogen. Why? Because atmospheric nitrogen is basically having 3 bonds over there. Okay, and it is kind of very tightly linked, so you cannot break it down anyways. So what does plants do? Plants basically have some association with some bacteria and stuff like that who fix atmospheric nitrogen for them in the form of nitrites and nitrites. Nitrates and nitrites, my dear children. So in this form they take in the nitrogen, not in the form of atmospheric nitrogen, not in the form of urea, not in the form of proteins. It's basically this. It's basically this. And if you want to say, you can take urea also, but not atmospheric nitrogen. You cannot take proteins also. Okay, it will be nitrogen, talking about nitrogen, right? So nitrates and nitrites, or basically urea. So I'll say second and third is correct. That means B option is correct. Urea is a nitrogenous waste. I hope everyone knows that, right? Yes, urea, uric acid, ammonia, everything has nitrogen in it. So yes. So go for these options, do not get confused. Very important question. It's there, I think in the 5th or 6th page of your NCRT, okay, in the line which is like below the experiment. It's very much important. Now, question number 23. Which among the following statements are true for unisexual flowers? What do you mean by unisexual flowers? They just have either of the sex. Either it will be having male reproductive system or it will be having female reproductive system, my dear children. Male as in you're talking about stamen. Female as in you're talking about pistil or carpel, whatever you want to say. Stamen is made up of anther, filament. Okay, pistil is made up of stigma, style, and you have what? Ovary. Over here. So either it can have stamen or pistil, okay, remember that. So they possess both stamen and pistil, this is wrong. What is true is being asked, okay. They possess either stamen or pistil, this is correct. They exhibit cross pollination, obviously. Unisexual flowers means that, for example, this is a flower. It will be having either the female or basically the male reproductive part. So obviously it cannot undergo self-pollination. Self-pollination would be happening when it has both. At this point of time, self-pollination can happen. Or basically if the plant has both type of flowers, that's when also self-pollination can happen. But usually when you talk about single, okay, you're going to promote, they exhibit cross-pollination. They will be exhibiting cross-pollination. This is also correct. Okay. Now unisexual flowers possessing only stamens cannot produce fruits. If it is just having this, can it produce fruits? No, it cannot produce fruits. It should be having the female reproductive system because it's the ovary of the female reproductive system that becomes what? The fruit. So unisexual flowers possessing only stamens cannot produce fruits. That is correct. From this stamens, the pollen can go land on this and make other flower make a fruit, not this one. So I'll say 2nd, 3rd and 4th is correct. 2nd, 3rd and 4th is correct. B is correct. Okay, chalo. Next, in human males, all the chromosomes are paired perfectly except this or these unpaired chromosome. So all the other chromosomes of the human beings are basically paired properly. But in the case of sex chromosomes, what is X chromosome and the Y chromosome, okay, the Y chromosome is chutko and the X chromosome is large. Okay, which is why they are the not so perfectly paired chromosomes. Okay, so it is X and Y chromosomes. I'd say 3rd and 4th is correct, which means you're talking about C option. Yes. 6 more questions and then we are done with the 30 questions, my dear children. I hope you're having fun. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Underline incorrect. Okay, the wrong statement we have to find. All green plants and blue-green algae are producers. Yes, they are producers. What do you mean by producers? Producers are the one that make their own food. Okay, green plants get their food from organic compounds. No, they make the organic compounds. This is wrong. So this is incorrect. Okay, producers prepare their own food from inorganic compounds. I just told you this is correct. Plants convert solar energy into chemical energy. Yes, plants take in solar energy and convert into chemical energy as well, and they prepare their own food. That is organic compounds from the inorganic compounds. So I'll say this statement is wrong because they said that they get food from organic compounds. No, they prepare the organic compounds, my dear children. So this is incorrect. Statement B is incorrect. Okay. Option B is correct, as in you're talking about incorrect statement. That is what I meant. Now, question number 26. Which among the following statements are true for sexual reproduction in flowering plants? Sexual reproduction, that means you're talking about gametes. There will be formation of gametes. Okay, there will be fusion of gametes as well. There will be formation of zygote as well and everything. Okay, so what is true? You are asked about what is true. It requires 2 types of gametes. Correct. Fertilization is a compulsory event. Correct. It always results in formation of zygote. Obviously. Offspring formed are clones. No. Offsprings which are formed are not clones. You're not talking about asexual mode of reproduction. You're talking about sexual mode of reproduction. So in sexual mode of reproduction, obviously they won't be clones. They would be having variations in them. Okay. If it was asexual, it would have been clones. So all these things are correct. I'll say 1, 2, 3 is correct. 1, 2, 3 is correct. Okay, option number C is correct. Next thing, two pea plants, one with round green seeds, okay, and another with wrinkled yellow seeds produce F1 progeny that have round and yellow. Obviously, they will be having round and yellow, I told you, right? The dominant traits are expressed over here in F1 generation. When F1 plants are selfed, that means these round and yellow plants which are there, which are produced, they are self, they are crossed between themselves, okay. The F2 progeny will have new combination of characters. Choose a new combination from the following. So here you have round, you have what? Round and green, and this is what? Wrinkled and yellow. So round was with green, now you can make with round with what? Yellow. New combination is this only, right? New combination would be this. Round was with yellow, sorry, round was with green, this time you make it with yellow, and wrinkled basically was with yellow, you can make it with green. This is the new combination that will be found in F2 generation, okay. In F2 generation, in F1 generation, sorry, in F2 generation you will find this, and also round and green, and you will also find wrinkled and yellow. But you are asked about new combination, and this was old combination, this is old, where is this? This is old combination, this is also old combination. What is new? These are new. So round and yellow and wrinkled and green, round and yellow and wrinkled and green. So first and fourth, B should be correct. Yes, B is correct, my dear children, okay. Understand that the question could be framed like this also. So there were round and yellow and wrinkled and green. They will ask you what you find in F1 generation. F1 obviously you will find the dominant traits only. So it will be obviously as always round and yellow only. But what about F2? What is the new things that you could find? So here you had round and yellow, here you had wrinkled and green. So this time let's make round and green and wrinkled and yellow. That will be the new combination. So depending on what is given in the question, you have to find the newer combination in F2 generation. Remember that, okay. Do not go with the same thing which is given in your NCERT textbook. See the question carefully and then answer, okay. So this becomes your answer. Next, the correct sequence of organs in the male reproductive system for transport of sperm is. So transport of sperm, basically where is the sperm found, my dear children? It happens in the testis. Now in testis there are so many accessory ducts which will be transferring, which will be transporting the sperms to the penis, that is external genital organ, okay. So from the testis you have epididymis, vas deferens and stuff like that. So I will say the accessory gland which is majorly involved is vas deferens. Now this vas deferens basically will be opening into what? So if you do not know, I am going to make you and show. Over here, suppose this is a testis. From the testis, the sperms which are made are going to travel up with the help of vas deferens. This is vas deferens. Now over here, there is the urinary bladder of the males, okay. This vas deferens is now going to open up over here into the urethra. I hope you know that urinary bladder has an opening that is known as urethra. While this is happening, it is not directly opening, there is ejaculatory duct and lot of things being found. I am not explaining that, but I am just giving you a hint, okay. Where are the ureter? Ureter comes over here, my dear children. Ureter is this, and the vas deferens, I should be coloring it different, I think it might confuse you. So this is the ureter, and the vas deferens is not going to open up there, it is going to open up here in the urethra. Ureter is going to bring urine from the kidneys to the urinary bladder. From here, the urine is going to be passed through urethra, and as well as the sperms which are coming. So males have a common passage for transfer of sperm as well as urine. I hope you know that. So it will be urethra, not ureter. So testis, vas deferens and urethra. This is the correct answer. A is the correct answer. Okay. 29th question, which is the correct sequence of the components of reflex arc? So reflex arc, as I said, first thing, you should be having receptors that could sense something. For example, I am touching on a hot pan. This hot thing should be sensed by my receptors. So first thing that I have is sensory receptors. Now when I am sensing it, there should be a signal that should be going from my sense organs to the spinal cord, okay. So who takes this? This is taken up by sensory neuron. Sensory neuron is going where? To the spinal cord. In the spinal cord, there is something that is known as relay neuron or interneuron, okay, which is going to come and say that, okay, I have to send the other signal to some muscles or something like that. So for that, you have next neuron that will send the signal to a muscle or probably a gland or whatever is there. So motor neuron is there, that will be taking the information to the effector organ. Effector organ, it can be a muscle, it can be a gland, whatever is there. For example, I want to move my hands away, that means muscles are required over here. So motor neuron which is there is going to signal the effector organ, it can be anything, muscle or whatever is there. Okay, so these are the components, you have to remember the flow. This is also known as efferent, I'll write it properly. This is also known as efferent neuron, okay, and this is known as efferent, I think this is being cut, efferent, EE, I'll write it here. Cool. So, receptors, muscles, this is wrong. Receptors, motor neuron, this is wrong. Receptors, spinal cord, this is wrong. Receptors, sensory neuron, spinal cord, motor neuron, muscle, this is correct. So, D is correct. Okay. Next, in peace, a pure tall plant, this is the last question, my dear children, this is from heredity. In peace, a pure tall plant is crossed with short plant. Pure tall plant is crossed with what? Short plant. The ratio of pure tall plants to short plants in F2 generation. First thing, you have to fuse them to know F1 generation. Okay, let's fuse them. So, capital E, the gametes will be capital T. Here also, always remember talking about a chromosome. In one chromosome you have capital T, another chromosome you have capital T. And I said when gametes are formed, halving of chromosome happens. So either one chromosome can get down. It can be either capital T, same. Here small t. Now this can fuse with this, giving capital T small t. This can fuse with this, giving capital T small t. This with this capital T small t. This with this capital T small t. All of them, they are tall. Now you have to find the F2 generation. For that you have to fuse capital T small t, capital T small t. Okay, this is the okay. So here the gametes are kind of different. It can be capital T or small t. I don't know why it is getting cut. Okay, again capital T or small t. Now let's fuse them. This and this when fuses capital T, capital T. This and this when fuses capital T, small t. This and this when fuses capital T, small t. This and this when fuses small t, small t. Okay, now look over here. This is capital T, this is small t, and you are asked about the ratio of what? Ratio of pure tall plants to short plants. So this is also tall, this is also tall, but is it pure? No. You say it's pure when the two alleles are same. So this is pure and this is pure. So what is the ratio? It is capital T, capital C, I see only 1, so I'll say 1, and this is also 1, so I'll say 1:1 is the ratio. I'll say 1:1 is the ratio. Usually, children get confused as in, we studied that 3:1 is the ratio, ma'am, in F2 generation. Yes, 3:1 is the ratio of the phenotypic ratio. Exactly, truly correct. Why? Because all of them are tall. So, 3 of them are tall, 1 is dwarf. But you are asked about pure tall. This is not pure tall. This is heterozygous tall. So, this is pure tall. This to this is 1:1. So, this becomes your answer. And with this, we have completed 30 MCQs within almost 53 minutes, okay. And I hope you understood this. As I said, if you need more videos like this, you have to comment down. At least we should be having a buffer of 10 comments, okay, asking for the same thing. Then only we might proceed and think about doing something. Because what's the use when we are giving our time and efforts and everything and you guys are not watching it? We see the view counts are really less. Let me tell you one thing. This channel was created as a sub-channel, okay. We have another big channel, that is Diksha Karnataka, okay, where we teach 11th and 12th. So this channel was being promoted to help you guys, for the children who are dealing with foundation, right? Foundation classes like 10th and 9th. So basically as of now we are focusing on 10th because you have your boards coming in. So please make utilization of this and definitely like the video if you like it. Comment that you like the video. Whatever you want to say positive things, say negative things, but definitely talk to us. It means a lot to us. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tell it to your friends as well. Okay, so that's all. Wishing you all good luck and everything nice. Bye bye. Take care.